Greetings, fellow citizens of Disneyland. Bricky here. Let's do some hot takes. None of my goofiness. Well, there'll be some goofiness because I can't avoid it. But no crazy theme. Let's just me and you. Let's talk some Disneyland. Seems like there's a lot happening. Seems like the company's in kind of a weird spot right now. So let's dive into it and have a good old-fashioned live stream discussion about the place that we love, but sometimes maybe get a little annoyed at. Let me say hi to some people over in the chat. What's up, Ross? Saying good morning, all. LOL. I'm assuming that you live in the future on another planet. What's up, Coco? AK-47. I was so sad that I'm like, oh, my gals won't be here. My gal pals are all traveling. Poor Bricky left alone at home while everybody else is getting to see the world, and you're here. I'm so excited. Nerd Squared, what's up? Good to see everybody here. Monkey Boy Hand Cramp. Does Bricky have a place where we can see his illustration? Do I have a place where you can see my illustration? Not anymore. If I show people my Disney prints, then people will just ask to buy them from me. Humble brag. And it's just like, I don't have the bandwidth to be mailing out posters or art prints. I did that for a long time. And so, no, I don't think I have an online portfolio anywhere, but you're not missing anything. Today's beverage is bubbly, cherry bubbly. This is not sponsored content because nobody would ever sponsor me, but just wanted to let you know what I was ripping and sipping. What's up, Tony? Check his MySpace. I don't think I ever actually had a MySpace account, or maybe I did, but I was only friends with Tom. I don't know. All right, friends, let's get into some hot takes. Let's get it going. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to know? Ooh. Christopher McCormick says, good morning, peeps. How do you, okay, I'm going to read it the way that it's typed. Good morning, peeps. How about those Tomorrowland flowers? Okay. So the last thing I saw, I didn't get to go to the park last week because I had surgery. I've talked about it. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. So I never liked that concept art. I thought that concept art was just a Band-Aid. And I feel like everything they've done with Tomorrowland since the inception of it, other than, was it Tomorrowland 1967? Whenever they put the People Mover in, whenever they really made it go like mid-century modern, like atomic age, retrovision, that to me was Tomorrowland. Everything else was like coming soon. And then that Tomorrowland was perfect. But they didn't keep up with it. They just kind of let it go, and then they kept putting Band-Aid on it. And every time Tomorrowland is in sync or getting ready to get its upgrade, the world falls apart. They were getting ready to put a lot of money into it. Disneyland Paris. They were getting ready to put a lot of money into it. COVID-19 and the Thanos snap. So Tomorrowland is just a pile of junk, and it's just completely in disarray. So don't even mess with the flowers. Don't put lipstick on a pig is what I'm saying. I mean, the flower beds, the blue and the yellow, that would have been nice, but what I saw online looked like scorched earth, which I guess is the future. Are they telling us? Are they giving us a heads up that tomorrow the planet is just burnt and dead and brown looking? I don't know. Maybe it's a spoiler alert for our future. But I say this. Tomorrowland sucks. And it's going to continue to suck for a long time because what would you put there? Right now, between both parks, every major IP is covered. They're not missing anything major. And this is going to not be what you want to hear. But if for some reason they said, Bobby Chapek just ate a piece of steak and it was poisoned and he can't run the company. And JD also had a bite of that steak and he was poisoned and he can't run the company. And Kenny Pete Rocks is out in his T-tops cruising around the town. We can't find him. Bricky, we need you to make a decision about Tomorrowland. What are we going to do with the future of Tomorrowland? And I would tell you this. Let's wait till tomorrow. Let's wait till tomorrow on Tomorrowland. Maybe we could paint it. Maybe we could open up some of the buildings. Maybe we just make it Instagram land, because the future, as we can see it as far as next week goes, is social media. But I would say let's wait till tomorrow because right now we don't have any IPs that we need to put in the park. Now, Frankie, what about them making original attractions about original stories? Listen, that time's gone. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it doesn't exist anymore. You can't go into the past. You got to keep moving forward because it's called Tomorrowland. So if they said to me, what do you want to put there? I would say, shh, don't speak, baby. Don't speak. Let's not talk about tomorrow. Let's just get through today. Let's make great movies. Let's make great IP. Let's figure out what the world loves and then give it to them, because you know what we're never going to get again? More land in Tomorrowland. It butts up on the edge of harbor. It has the 5 behind it. It's landlocked. Dare I say, the most valuable land that the Walt Disney Corporation owns. So why would you just build something to build something? And I know what you're saying. Well, what about the Rocketeer? Me and my friends love the Rocketeer and its future. Be smart. Just because you and your friend have an old copy of the Rocketeer, it doesn't deserve a land. I'm talking a Cars level land. I'm talking a Galaxy's Edge level land. I'm talking an Avengers Hallway level land. I'm talking about fully immersive, something new, something real. We've got it all covered, baby. We've got it all covered. And friends, that is a hot take. Christopher, you feel that? You asked me about the flowers and I told you everything about the future. So hot. So hot. All right, so much for no goofiness. All right, let's see what you guys say about the hot take. Christopher says, love the real outlook on the current state. Ready for the rest of the hot takes today. That's all I got. I'm out of hot takes. I'm out of fuel. I got nothing more. I gave it all on the first one. I'm so tired. I'm so weak. I just got out of surgery a week ago. I'm almost dead. Why do you guys want so many hot takes from me? I only showed up with one. Let's see here. Trying to catch up with some of your responses to that. There we go. Which area of the Disneyland park do you feel is lagging behind? What do you think it needs help to catch up? Ross, what's lagging behind? Well, we're going to ignore Tomorrowland, even though it is the one that's most lagging. There are quick fixes. Like, for example, you could easily turn Launch Bay into something that's worthwhile. You could make it an expedition space. No. This is what I think they should do. This is the temporary fix for Tomorrowland. Wouldn't take a lot of money, and I think it would make a difference. I would say if you wanted to fix Tomorrowland in the short, because it's definitely the part of the parks that's lagging the most, Ross, you make it a mini Epcot. Now, I'm not talking about putting Spaceship Earth in there. No. What does Epcot really do? Epcot is really a festival pavilion. So you take Launch Bay, you take the empty movie theater, you turn those both into very interactive spaces. You get the Galactic dance floor over at the Galactic Grill. You get that buzzing. You clean up the middle. You take out the hand sanitizer ball. You clean up all your sight lines in the middle, and you literally make it a festival space inside of Disneyland. And whatever's happening, you do a seasonal thing over there. You put some food carts in. You make those different halls more interactive. Maybe you do something on the patio on Space Mountain, right? You put some nice banners up and down the People Mover track. It's never coming back. Don't even ask me about that. You make it a little mini festival space. You hang flags and banners around and repaint it and go, yay! We're celebrating the future. We're celebrating peace with food and snacks and hot dogs. I think that's what would happen. Now, if you take that away from me, Ross, Hollywoodland. But once again, I'd say the same thing with Hollywoodland over in DCA. It's a placeholder for something big to come, and right now they've covered it all. The only thing I could see Hollywoodland that makes it different than Tomorrowland is I would be all for Avengers Campus growing in that direction, because the Marvel franchise is huge, and brother, it's only getting bigger. But if you were to say what's lagging outside of that and needs to catch up, I would say the Fantasyland theater area. kind of an antiquated design. It becomes a stroller parking lot. I feel like that area could use a little dust up or a little brush up. But once again, as I've illustrated in videos in the past, the Fantasyland Theater could easily be annexed into more Fantasyland space, or dare I say, it could potentially become a part of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge if you're to make a bridge or tunnel that goes over or under the Disneyland Railroad. So therefore, you could put an outer facade that looks like it's Fantasyland, but inside is a dark ride or dark attraction or simulator attraction that could be themed to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. You kind of always got to think about what touches butts. But if you ask me, beside that, what's underused? Critter Country? There's some dead corners in Critter Country. That one wasn't that hot, so I'm not going to give myself the fire. I can't abuse the fire, but I appreciate it, Ross. All right, let me see. What else I got going on here? Is Oogie Boogie Bash the best to go on opening day, or is it just as exciting any day you go? The opening day seems like it'd be the best and most vibes. Deanna, I went nearly every week last year. This song sucks. I went nearly every week last year. I went once a week. And opening night does have sort of a magic to it because everybody's pumped to be there. But it also has an annoying factor that all of us are there. You know, the camera jerks. Oh my God, you guys. Oogie Boogie Night 1. It's so great to see Oogie back. Oh my God, look, there's a treat trail. So much candy. Oh, it's great. So if you like to see the dog and pony show that is me and all my peers, then maybe opening night would be great for you. And if you have FOMO and you really need to know, opening night's great. However, what going on second or third night or later on closer to Halloween benefits from is there's a lot more data for you. There's a lot more videos explaining the new layout, the best time to go do something like Villains Grove, which is tremendous. So it kind of depends. Are you a FOMO person or are you a value person? If you're a value person, wait. You'll be able to plan ahead and get the most out of your Oogie Boogie. But if you're a FOMO person, go first night. And by the way, say, hey, Bricky, put me in the vlog. And I'll act like I didn't hear you. Medium. Not a lot of heat. Not a lot of heat. Okay, let me find. I see some chats here. Sorry, this thing that highlights the chat makes it hard to read the chat. But my eyeballs are blazing. Deanna says that she would love a mini Epcot. You get what I mean with an Epcot? Just make it a little festival space. The building is full of asbestos. So was it full of asbestos when they were doing the Marvel meet and greets? Like when these are the funny things. Like, no, man, you can't go in there. It's full of. It's going to kill everybody. Didn't kill everybody when everybody was there 4 or 5 years ago. Like, did they just recently realize that there was asbestos in there? And by the way, all the buildings that everybody says, oh man, you can't go in there. It'll kill you. They do corporate meetings in these buildings. They have functions in there. So until Disney says it's asbestos, that's when I'll believe it. But I feel like these things kind of get spread around. Let me see. Who's got something for me? Who's really ready to get hot? Let me go to the recent chat here. Mikey Stain says, with Splash going away, I feel Critter Country must be on the chopping block too. All that's holding it together is the connection between Pooh and a country bear. All right, so Critter Country gets in an interesting spot where I'm for the retheming of Splash Mountain. I've documented it plenty. We don't need to get into it, but I think it's a smart idea. And I think with our park in particular, if it becomes a hybrid of like, well, it's on the edge of New Orleans Square and it's where Critter Country begins, it's fine. Critter Country will be fine with Princess and the Frog. It's got a frog in the name and a crocodile in the ride. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be seamless. It won't be that big of a deal. Everybody's making it out to be. However, where I think Critter Country is a wait and see is that if Disneyland Forward gets passed, Critter Country is the extension to the future. So let's assume for a moment that the extra land that they own next to Pixar Pier or not next to Pixar Palace parking and the Disneyland Hotel. There's a space of land there that's being held for Disneyland Forward in the future. It's both of those things, really. That land could get annexed into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I don't think that they would do that because it would be way too much Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and it seems like Disney has really no idea how to manage Star Wars efficiently. So far, almost everything they do is a big swing and a strike. But Critter Country is super important to expanding the park in that direction. The Winnie the Pooh dark ride is fantastic. It's one of the best dark rides at the park. Normally doesn't have a long line. The little waterfall at the end of it, the waterways, beautiful. The little snack, the Pooh's Corner snack place is great. In the wintertime, it's a great place to get a photo with Santa Claus. Like, it's really good at what it is for now. But it's so strongly reliant on what the future is. If those gates, that emergency exit there that would just take you right out of the tram path, if something big happens with the future, Critter Country is going to become a major, major thoroughfare. So once again, it's one of those things where, like, let's not put money into this until we know what the future is, because it works. It's a quiet, sleepy part of the park. There's nothing better than seeing the train going across the bridge and waving at everybody. I say Critter Country is saved until bigger plans happen. And in those bigger plans, it could get downgraded. It could get turned more into a walkway. It could get reshaped and resculpted. But I'll tell you this, Princess and the Frog coming does not break Critter Country. It's a perfect transition. The grading is perfect. I understand that people complain about Walt Disney World, but I will tell you that it will make the area better. People will enjoy it. And it's the future, the way that the park needs to run. Come on, Tiana. I'm waiting for you. Hot take. Jesse says, do you think they're going to announce a Toy Story theme land? Because it would be a cheap theme. Almost every Disney resort has one except Tokyo and Anaheim. Well, Jesse, this is a great question because I say you have Pixar Pier. What's in Pixar Pier? Midway Mania. There's your Toy Story. I don't like the idea of repeating characters and themes all throughout the park. I feel like everything should have its neighborhood, and that neighborhood should be reflective of the brand. So if you're asking me, and you are, right now, everything that is Pixar should live over in Pixar Pier, according to me. Buzz Lightyears, Buzz Blasters, garbage ride, could take it out tomorrow, wouldn't miss a thing. Part of my imagining of turning Tomorrowland into a very mini Epcot Festival pavilion, you're out of here. We could blast it, whatever we want to. Blast it. Stunt food. But the Pixar Pier area is where Pixar lives. And important, there's two escape paths for more Pixar. There's the big wood walls that is the parade route that could easily go over to the Simba parking lot of part of Disneyland Forward. Or there's the Pixar Promenade. You know, that little rainbow type door. I've studied that. That could easily be a path to get to someplace else. But as far as giving our park a cheap budget Toy Story land, no. The Toy Story land at Hollywood Studios is garbage. The theme on it is crap. It's just Tinker Toys all spread out. Grow up, Andy. Make better use of your toys. It's just all sprinkled around. There's no designed walls. It's just like, they just let the trees kind of overgrow. If they wanted to make it really look cool, they would have built an edge that looked like a toy box or something in his room. There would be oversized items around it. We don't have a lot of land in Southern California. So to take Disneyland Forward and waste it on kind of a low budget sprawl, bro, what are we doing here? Anything that we build in the future should be big and should be huge, right? So whatever we do, it should be like huge. It should be forward thinking. It should move into the future. And like the lands that get built, I miss Jeff. The lands that get built need to be of economy. They need to be of masterful manipulation of space and design. Like we don't have the park to just throw a slinky dog in it and some Tinker toys and call it a day. We don't have that much land. So anything that gets built has to be masterfully crafted. So if we do see more Pixar in the park, it will be the realization of the neighborhoods themed. The neighborhoods will be very well designed. Each little space that you stand in will feel like you're inside of that space, and then you'll pivot over and find the next one. So my estimation would be Toy Story Land in California, absolutely not. We don't need that trash out here. Photon Empress. Nice name. Do you think the Chapek area will get new creative areas? Or are we doomed to a series of new cash extraction measures? I'm assuming you meant, do you think the Chapek era will get new creative areas? I'll tell you this. I'm not really sure what you're asking, but I'll tell you why I think people have been unfair to Bobby Chapek. So far, Chapek has had to do a couple of things. He's had to navigate COVID-19 and the parks being closed and one of the worst times you could ever run a business. He's had to navigate that, and that's not an easy thing to do as an executive. So that's the first major thing that he really had to figure out, and there's really not a right way to do it. Now, the next thing that he had to do is sort of keep checking off Bobby Iges' checklist. Build me a new Epcot. I don't know if I can do that, Bobby Iges. You know, build this, build that. Like, so far as the parks go, everything that we're seeing right now is from the Bob Iger playbook. There are projects that were conceived, created, and okayed by him and his administration. So why D23 is so fascinating is because the Bob Iger playbook is running out of plays. What we see at D23 is going to be the first glimpse at Bob Chapek's view of the Disney parks. Now, I know Josh D'Amaro is in charge of the parks, but Joshy boy has to take the checkbook up to Bobby C and be like, can we pay for it? Can we do it? And Bob Chapek has to be like, I don't know, dog. What do you think? So literally what we're getting ready to see is Bob Chapek's vision of Disney. Because so far, he's been the little boy at the dam. He's been putting been putting a finger in this hole, been putting a finger in that hole. He's been plugging this, he's been plugging that. But we really don't know what his play is. Working on a video for Wednesday that will get into this more deeper, so I don't want to go too far into what me and the gang are working on. But if you really think about it, so far, he's been a manager. He's had to manage expectations. He's had to manage what was already around in a horrible time in history. We've seen him be a manager. We have not seen him display any vision, any forecasting for the future. So I think this D23 is going to be very, very interesting because it's the first new slate of Bob Chapek's vision or his team's vision of Disney parks. Keep looking at that, Photon Express, and then you'll know, do the areas have more areas of the Bob Chapek areas? So hot. So hot. What's the maximum amount of times you would go on the trams in a day now? Well, Brendan, if I did it, I'm the champion. I'd have to go more than 116 times because that's my record. So I'd have to keep rolling. So yeah, if I was going to do it, I'd go hardcore. I'd go the whole way. Wade says, honestly, I think the right play for Tomorrowland is in the augmented reality metaverse area. I don't know, Wade. Do we really want to go to a theme park and put on... I mean, I know augmented reality is different than virtual reality, but do we really want to go to a theme park and be reliant on these things, iPads and mobile phones and that stuff? I mean, I feel like the more and more all of that becomes part of our life, it should be separate from our Disney life. I know that I have a strong feeling that augmented reality is a big part of our future, but I see it differently. In a place like Disneyland, I still think that tactile wins. I still think that real experiences where people can bond together is what moves the dial and gets people coming back. But Wade, I'll tell you where I think that you're right. As every mall in America is slowly eroding and falling apart, we have these big urban centers just all across the US. And I think the version of Disney metaverse or augmented reality or virtual reality is a touring show. I believe that there is a way in the future where experience will come to every city or every major city, because there's these giant Sears, there's these giant malls that are just basically sitting there doing nothing. And I believe what you're talking about is something that would travel well, but doesn't warrant a permanent fixture in the park. They were going to do something like this with the Play Pavilion, and out of all the things that got axed from the last D23, that's a thing that seems like it's crazy on pause. And I was curious to see how something like that would come together. I get what you're saying, Wade, but I think that that's more of an Imagineering traveling roadshow than something that permanently gets built inside of Disneyland. I would say that that's not what I would want for Tomorrowland, because if we look at historically, all of the attractions that are supposed to be easy to update, Midway Mania, stagnant, Millennium Falcon, still the same show, Star Tours has gotten upgraded some. We did see Soarin' Over California get upgraded, but to Soarin' Over the World, which I thought was a downgrade. I think that there's an idea that this digital content, that it can easily be swapped out for other content. So, you know, maybe there could be a theme in Tomorrowland where right now it's all classic Disney movies. And then in the fall, it's going to switch over to a Big Hero 6 installment, or the celebrate the 25th anniversary of this, or maybe even your stupid Rocketeer. But the company gets complacent and they move on to new projects. So this digital stuff that should be easy to convert over often ends up being stuck in time. Like Captain EO was the only film that they made for the movie theater that sits there. It'd be very easy to make another movie and to find another star or another subject matter, but they acted like all they could either do is show trailers or Captain EO. So I think I would be very, very weary of a technology forward exhibit, because so far they haven't proven to me that they can get together a team that will keep programming and keep creating an evolution for that content. Kind of hot. I just love trashing the Rocketeer because it means so much to some people. It's always like the answer. It's like, nah, just put the Rocketeer in it, it'll fix it all. I mean, park theme life, it's absolutely genius. Absolutely genius. But what are they selling? If you made an AR that took you back to Disneyland 1955, it'd be fascinating. But what is the motivation? That's how you have to think. Because unfortunately, the corporation is what the corporation is, and it's not going to change. People aren't going to change. You have to always keep in mind, and I know this isn't a fun thing to do, but you have to keep in mind, me and you, Perth, theme park life, we would love this. But I'm assuming you're probably somewhere around my age, you're somewhere in my demo, and you always have to think, what would an 8-year-old want? What would an 18-year-old want? What would a 28-year-old want? And so on and so on. And even what does the mother or father of an 8-month-old want for the perfect pick? And so Disneyland 1955 would be rad, but the way that the park works now, everything has to be upselling something else. It has to be downline from something that can be a commodity that's selling or transforming in some ways, that they're always strengthening the brand. And I know you would say, well, this would strengthen the Disneyland brand. But the theme parks, they take advantage of, because people are always going to go and they're always going to spend money. So the theme parks just keeps generating income in the background. And a lot of times when the company hits hard times, they take that theme park money and they put it elsewhere because they know it's clutch, it's consistent. And until people stop going, the prices are going to go up and they're going to keep making that sweet, sweet theme park money. So therefore, anything that celebrates the theme park, they're not going to put that much money into it because they don't need to. But an attraction that celebrates a property that can sell more merchandise or keep the fandom alive for, a sequel or an origin story or a Disney Plus series or a movie, vice versa. All of the attractions that keep our love and awareness of Radiator Springs and the Cars brand, people going there, loving that experience, it keeps Cars alive. So there's always an ability to make more programming around Cars. So that's why I think that as much as you and me love that idea, I don't see it ever going through the executive's idea or the executive's decision making. And if I'm thinking like an executive, I'd have to agree with them. Hot take: what you want isn't always what's right. Coco says, I love the classic feeling of Tomorrowland being more of a World's Fair. I feel like that could be redeveloped into a timeless of a World's Fair. I mean, I think that that's a good problem solving for the short-term future. And that kind of gets into my idea of making it like a baby Epcot. But I think forward thinking, a World's Fair theme should be what Downtown Disney evolves into. That should be the free part of the park. The World's Fair feeling of exposition or different merchandise, different food, different exploring.
Woo! Woo woo!
A super chat. They love me. Thank you so much, Photon Express, for the $33. That's hot. I appreciate it, bud. Thank you so much. Magical Live Show, really enjoying your hot takes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. When does it go away, though? There we go. So, yeah, Coco, I get that. I just think, though, that piece of land deserves more than exhibition. That's what I'm trying to say. Exhibition space. Thanks, Phantom Express. I appreciate that, bud. Do you think Disney would ever shrink Rivers of America to free up some more land? Well, they already did it once, and I say that it made it better, right? Like the new Rivers of America is better than the old one. The rock work, the waterfall, it's just all so beautiful. And folks like you have been going down these rivers for a long time. There's not really much more they could cut off of it. I think that the island could be better utilized. And I also think that the shoreline on the Fantasyland side could be better utilized. But Anthony, there's not really much more that they could cut off and still make it work. So I'm going to rule. Get them, JT. Don't just be a handsome face. Slay them. Slay Naked HD. I would say that they know this is hot takes, so they want to get their hot porn in here. I don't think that you could reduce it anymore and get enough out of it. I do understand why they had to cut a little bit off. And the reason why they had to cut that piece off is because they needed to find a way for Phantasmic to still have its preparation area. So there's a waterfall when you go around that the Disneyland Railroad goes over the top of, and you can see through the bridge. There's a waterfall that is actually an entryway into a warehouse. That warehouse is covered in dirt. Disneyland Railroad goes over the top of it. And if you were to be inside of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, there's a cylinder-shaped building that is next to where the Land Speeder Garage is, which is, I call it, that stage that they never use. And so that area connects with the warehouse that's hidden underneath the topsoil and the trees there. So the reason why they had to cut it back was to create space for that warehouse for the Phantasmic nighttime, water parade floats. I don't think that there's enough that you could cut off to get anything out of it. I say it stays this way forever. Larry, my friend, Club 1313 member, not Club 33 yet. Mike and Sully is on borrowed time. I would say, yes, Monsters attraction, that whole Hollywood land is just, it's a placeholder for better things to come. Get him, man. Naked HD is coming in hot. Damn, he knows these takes are so hot. He's like, yo, these people want my porn. All right, let's see. What else hot takes we got? Oh, somebody just subscribed to my YouTube channel. Look at that. There is hope. It's all going to work. It's all going to work. Would you get Reed of Finding Nemo and Autopia for Tron? No. Tron does not belong in Anaheim, and I'll tell you why. First off, to build Tron the way that it's been built in Shanghai and in Walt Disney World, that canopy that illuminates is way too tall. It would be taller than Sleeping Beauty's castle. So there are moments when you would be standing in Main Street that you would actually see that over on your right, like peripheral vision. Like you would see the canopy illuminating behind Matterhorn Mountain. So something that big would be a huge obstruction. Two, the way that Tron looks next to Space Mountain is not a good look. The two do not blend very well at all. If you look at footage that I believe Mickey Views or DSNY put up of showing the canopy is illuminated, the way that it's full of life and glitters, it makes Space Mountain look very, very sort of dead, like nothing's happening. And so therefore, I don't think that you want that to be complementing Space Mountain. So it doesn't work visually because it's big and it doesn't really match everything around it. Second of all, the show building, the big box that sits behind it, you can see the box poking out of the ride, which is not a good look. I wish the canopy would hide that box more. So that is a design flaw in Tron. But here's the biggest reason why you don't want it there, Anthony. I think it has a ride time of 90 seconds. I know for sure the ride time is sub 2 minutes. So do you want to ruin some of the park's best views? Autopia, I have no love for you. Finding Nemo sub, I hate you. But I would rather have that there and the good views that we have over a less than 2 minute attraction that just sticks out like a sore thumb in every direction that you look. Magic Kingdom, I love going there.
Woo, woo, woo.
Whoa. Thank you so much, Carol Lee. Appreciate that. Magic Kingdom, I love going there, but it's kind of like the Walmart of Disney parks. It's all big, it's all spread out, and they don't worry so much about the sight lines. But Disneyland is masterfully sculpted in the clay that is Anaheim, California, with not a lot of space around it. You have to protect the sight lines. You have to protect the symphony of the orchestra that is Disneyland and the way that all the pieces play together. Tron doesn't play well with others. Tron does not belong in our park. I will not give up Autopia. I will not give up Finding Nemo, even though I do dislike both of those attractions, but they are not worthy of giving up their land to Tron. There's something better in the future that they should give their land up to. Hot take. Rainy Foxworthy, how would you feel about Pinocchio and or Toads receiving similar updates to Snow White and Alice, etc.? I would love that. I think that those two attractions, once again, thinking about an 8-year-old, thinking about an 18-year-old, thinking about a 28-year-old, I think that those two attractions could use a little TLC to make them resonate with younger audiences that don't quite...
Woo! Woo woo!
I'm being attacked by super chats. Thank you, Casey. That's so nice of you. I think that both of those attractions would benefit from being a little bit more modernized so they make more sense to younger citizens of Disneyland. I think that they could use some of that tech.
Woo! Woo woo!
JT, thank you so much for providing us with all these sweet hot takes. Always loving Monday to start the week off right. Appreciate it, bud. Feels good to be back.
Woo! Woo woo!
Casey again? Let me know if I need to refund one of those because it's the same super chat. Maybe one didn't go through and you're like, you accidentally tossed the next one in. But I would say this, Rini, nice name. Those two attractions could use the TLC because Snow White is sick. Snow White is so good. The new version of Alice in Wonderland is great. Like, it has made those attractions better. It has not made them worse at all. So yeah, I think that could happen because Pinocchio is dark. It is so dark. If you imagine being an 8-year-old right now, that is so off the rails from the world that you're living in and what you've been exposed to. He's just a boy. I mean, it's crazy. So crazy. So yeah, I think that the projections and the enhancements have made those attractions better. I love Pinocchio. I really love Mr. Toads. I would love for those to stay and not go away. And I think to stay around, they need to kind of improve. Thanks, Rini, for such a great question. Appreciate you. Tiana Smith, I don't like Autopia, but it's something every little kid loves. We can't take the experience from them. I will take it from them, Deanna. I will take it from them, and I will give them something that they love better. I'll tell you this about Autopia. I often ride the monorail. And when I ride the monorail, I look over into Autopia and I see a lot of bored kids on it. In fact, here lately, I've seen kids imitating their parents where the kid's driving the car and they have a cell phone out and they're looking at the phone while they're driving the car. I've seen this on multiple times. I agree with you, Deanna, that there is something amazing about getting to drive your first car. But kids today live in a very, very advanced world where they play video games and they have so much stimulation that Autopia is not enough. Either the cars need to be electric cars that run on a track to where you can drive them back and forth and there's not the rail in the way, or they need to come up with something else where the kid is in control. But I think Autopia is too antiquated. It's very loud. There's no way that could be environmental friendly, and it takes up an insane amount of space. So I do believe the kids need to have something where they feel like they're in control. I just don't think Autopia is that anymore. Or do I think that amount of footprint? I mean, it is one of the biggest rides at the resort. And I would say if you take its space and compare it to its joy or pleasure or selling tickets, I think it's probably a little bit off. So yeah, I think that there's a way that we could let kids be in control and have that feeling, but get it in a way that's more related to their sensibilities. Because if you're shredding Call of Duty or you're playing all of these games and then you get behind this car, you're like, what is this? I'm not even really driving this thing. There's a rail in the way and I can't even steer it. That would be what I would say. Just put Autopia kids on the first boat to Pleasure Island. That takes too hot for me. I was out hotted. By the way, this is my friend Gary. If you've been enjoying the news videos, he's my friend that helps me put the news videos together. He helps me research everything and pull all the stats together. So shout out to Gary and my friend Ethan. Slowly putting together a small team of people because it's just too much to do it all by yourself. And they're good dudes for helping me out. I appreciate it. I don't love Utopia, but it serves a purpose for many small... Well, come on now. What is this? What is this? The Utopia fun... Oh, what about the kids, Briggy? What about the kids? Let's give the kids something else to choose from. Hey, you want to ride on this old car that's been here for 65 years that you're barely even driving? You keep hitting the rail and it doesn't go that fast? Or do you want to do an experience that's more aligned with you and your generation and your needs? Ding, 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 ding. Yo, saw a bird? Get out of here. I agree with you. The kids do need to have things where they get to experience freedom and control and imagination. But brother, Matt, I love you. Utopia's not it. The flame should have went off. But brother, I love you. Utopia's not it. Oh, burned you so hard the second time. So hard. My son's Forza game is more immersive than Utopia. I was gonna say. Let's turn Utopia into rocker. Now you guys are just being silly. This is supposed to be serious, hot takes, where I do this so that pornographers can come in here and advertise their websites to you guys. Dude, I love you. Did you like the Avatar rides at Animal Kingdom? Oh, now I did like, it was short, but I did like the boat ride where at the end you see that beautiful deity go, lightning lane, lightning lane. I did like that ride. It was a little bit short. I liked it. The other one, Flight of Passage, it was fun until it was horrible. The Red Banshee part, it just started to like make me feel so sick. And it was a shame because there were moments in Flight of Passage where it was really peaceful and beautiful. And I'm like, whoa, this is so amazing to be, you know, in this immersive environment. But then they started doing the like, oh, we're going to get you. And it's like, you know, here's a tree branch and here's another thing and here's a free fall. And it's just like, it just became no story and we're going to throw everything at you. Like here's a rhino herd and one's going to jump up. It was just literally, it became a haunted house. Like, ugh, you know, around every corner, there's something that's popping up at you. So the second half, I was like, please just let this be over. I just want it over. I want off of this thing. One was good, but short. The other one made me sick. In all honesty, I didn't have to wait in line for either one of them, so that always clouds your vision. If I had to wait in line, I'd probably give these a way worse review. So I'm going to say it wasn't for me, but then again, I'm going to say Avatar's not for me. They're making 3 more of those films. Who cares about those films? I mean, I have yet to ever be in a serious nerd conversation, and I'm in a lot of nerd conversations. I know a lot of geeks, and have yet to hear anybody be like, well, dude, it's like that time in Pandora. Or it's like that time in Avatar when blue dude said this to the other dude. Like, I'm into some nerd stuff, but I just don't think that there's a cultural significance or movement behind those movies. When I saw the trailer for, I don't know, what is it? Avatar World of Water, everybody in the theater was like, ooh. And then it was a Doctor Strange showing. I mean, it's a room full of nerds. It's Doctor Strange opening night, and everybody's like, oh. What is this? I do question making more of those movies. I question giving those movies their own land It just seems wild. Like James Cameron is a boss in the boardroom because somehow he knows how to get people to keep giving him money for really weird things. He's the opposite of me. Do you like those attractions? Yeah.
Woo! Woo woo!
CK Barry, my bud, coming through. What did CK say? Shout out to Gary. Great start to the week with these hot takes, Bricky. Hey, I'm having fun. Kind of trying to figure out a format for Mondays, and maybe this might be a thing where we get together and we just rip through some topics. I'm having fun, and you guys are being awesome and making this fun. And don't forget, if you're a Club 1313 member, directly after this, we're going to do the cool down. We do the hot takes here. Then we're going to do the cool down. We're going to talk about some things, a little, not go into so many like wild, vicious topics, but get into some more emo topics of some of the things that we're loving at the park. Hot take, cool down, hot eats, cool treats. Naked HDs. Wade, you're a funny guy. For my boy Wade. Oh, that's great. I love you. Ooh. Jamie, do you recommend Genie Plus for a one-day visit? It's all caps, so you know that this is like do or die. She means business, or he does. Or maybe it's Jaime. Who knows? Okay. Genie Plus for a one-day visit? Yes. If you're only going to be there one day, you've only got one day, time is not on your side. You need to make the most of it. Pause. A lot of geeks, ouch, zero interest in Avatar films. If the ride system were reimagined for Star Wars and Marvel properties, I would be all in. This dude, AS, thank you for the super chat. He's like the king of the geeks. This dude loves everything nerdy in a way that you wouldn't even imagine. If it's nerdy, he just throw money at it. Oh, that's nerdy? Take it, take it, take it. I love everything nerdy. If this guy isn't going to go watch your giant Smurfs, I don't know who is. And the other dude that I was with when I saw Doctor Strange, he's a big nerd too. And he's like, nah, hard pass. I don't know anybody who's into it. Thank you for the super chat. Okay. Back to this serious business. Do you recommend Genie Plus for a one-day visit? Yes. If you're only there one day, time is not on your side. Do Genie Plus. Spend the $20 to do Rise of the Resistance so you can skip the line. Just do it. It'll make your day go faster. You'll get more in. And you'll be happy that it's only $20 because I really believe that it should be $200 so that it is actually true Lightning. Because unfortunately, what they did with Lightning Lane, they just made it the standard way to ride the rides. So it's not that you get rewarded for Lightning Lane. It's that you get punished if you don't buy Lightning Lane. They just totally pulled a quick one on you. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but I would highly recommend it to you because you'll get the most of your day. I hope you have a great time on that day, and I hope that the Lightning provides you the lane. Not that hot of a take. Why are you so worried about what D does? Jay, I don't even know who D is or what they do. Why are you worried if I'm worried about D? I don't even know who D is. Hot take. Looking at the box office about a Top Gun ride in Tomorrowland. Isn't Top Gun a Universal property? Who owns Top Gun? Not Disney. Are you talking about Lightyear? Is that what you meant to say, Michael Knack? Get back to me. I'll fit you in here before we get off at the top of the hour. Oh, the green chat you can't see. He says, I 100% agree with Bricky's advice on one day Genie Plus and Lightning Lane. Yeah, the green doesn't work because of the green screen, but he agrees on it. And trust me, like I said, this guy will throw money at some nerd stuff. You got to go with him. Any predictions for Disneyland's Christmas party this year? I'll be there. That's my prediction, Elizabeth. I will see you there. I'll be there with well, not with bells on because that would be a bad look for Christmas time, but I'll be there. Yeah. I don't know if they'll do Merriest Nights again. It was a good idea. It needed a little bit more rounding out, but I hope that they do a Christmas party. I really do. It was fun. It was nice to be there. Jeff A. Clutch. Paramount. Brother, they ain't putting no Top Gun in there. Disneyland Hothead. Who's a Disneyland Hothead? I don't. Jay Hage. Disneyland Hothead. Jay Hage is like a poet. He types stuff and you like look at it and you go, what does it mean? Disneyland Hothead. Are you talking about? You wouldn't be talking about this, would you? I don't understand. It's a mystery. Jay Hage, the poet. It'll be something we'll all figure out later. Top Gun used to be a Paramount Great American years ago in Santa Clara. It's no longer a Paramount theme park. Yeah, I think I've rode. No, that was Tropic Thunder that they had at Kings Island, which was my park as a kid. Disney could just buy Paramount. You know what we're going to do? We're going to buy Paramount because we just really need to get Top Gun into Tomorrowland. That might be the hottest take yet. Oh, that's great. Oh, man. Is there any word swirling around when the Main Street Electrical Parade might be ending? We are going in September and hoping it'll still be going on. Lindsay, I don't know. I haven't heard officially from anybody, but it seems like the thought process is that it's going to go away when the fall season starts and it's just here for the summer. But September is going to be hard because September 3rd is when Halloween officially starts. So I give it 50-50 odds. I can't guarantee it one way or the other, but hopefully if you really want to see it, it'll be there. There was no heat with that. Avs or bolts? Avalanche. Definitely Avalanche. They can do it. Which is better, Main Street Electrical Parade or Paint the Night? Well, Main Street Electrical Parade is the reason why we have Paint the Night. So it's like, what's better, black and white TV or color TV? Well, of course you're going to go with color TV. Without color TV, you wouldn't have black and white TV. But if you're to tell me, hey, Bricky, if you go over on this street, you could see Main Street Electrical Parade. But if you could go over on this street, you could see Paint the Night. Give me my paintbrush and my magic wand because I'm painting the night, because I love Paint the Night. Paint the Night, best Disneyland non-holiday parade ever. So hot. Are you going to be going to the D23 exclusive Oogie Boogie night? Well, I have tickets for every day of D23, and I plan on going to Oogie, but I haven't really made my dates yet. So I don't know. Maybe it might be interesting, or it just might be too much going on and no reason to fit it in. Oh, come on, dude. Gary, when can I see you again? I never want this night to end, but this live stream is. Friends, thank you so much for doing the hot takes with me. I think maybe we do this again next Monday. We might have found our format for Mondays, at least for now, because I got a lot of other projects going on, and the crazy live streams have been hard to pull off. And so if you enjoyed this, I would ask you to join Club 1313 and join me over in the cool down, where we're going to talk about some good things. Here's where we get hot. There's where we get cool and talk about our love for the parks, because there's a lot going on. Disney's in a weird spot right now, and it's been a weird time to document it. So I wanted to make a place where we could just talk about our love for it. So if you enjoy my content, want to support it, if you want to get exclusive content, exclusive live streams, do meetups, and become part of a rad community, our Discord is a fantastic place to go if you want to be around fellow people that love it just like you do. And you can do that over at club1313.com. Just left a baby? Jay Hage, you should never leave a baby unattended. When will you learn? You are a weird poet. You are a weird poet. Just left. Don't want to hear you talk about your business. I just want what I want. I don't care about you. Friends, thank you. Let's end on something better. There we go. My dog, Julie. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Hey, When can we do this again? Well, right now, if you're in Club 1313. Thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate you all coming here. I appreciate you playing along and having some hot takes with me. And